So welcome to a guided tour of Riverside House by aerial drone. This is being taken by Anthony Williams, who's a hydrographer surveyor, and he's training to use drones to inspect offshore rigs and that kind of thing. So we're very grateful to what he's doing here for us. He's been using the data from these surveys to also develop some 3D models that we can use to help us plan ahead. So you can see we've just lifted off from our base camp where we have coffee every morning. So we're panning now from approximately east to north. We can see the River Stour in the bottom of the frame, Wollaston in the background, and then we're going to pan around and we'll see in the bottom right hand corner the dry dock and the extent of the northern edge of the site. So now looking approximately south with the canal to the left and the Foundry Linehealth Medical Centre on the right hand side and the newly laid out public park. And now we're coming up from the other side, from more or less the southeast of the newly laid out park. Part of Dalton Brook's requirement, the development to provide public open space. You can see the medical centre on the left and the canal just going out of view on the right hand side. And then we're coming up to Riverside House itself. It's in quite a derelict, dilapidated state, the roof burning off it about 20 years ago. Surrounded by some hoarding, which is also in a dilapidated state. We'll be looking to repair the hoarding, replace it as soon as possible, and also put fencing up at the exposed end of the site to essentially protect the site as much as possible. So looking above the team now, everybody quite excited about the drone that's happening today. We had a few visitors as well, so quite a lot going on. You can see in the bottom building, we're not sure what it is. It might be an old pigsty or potting sheds, that kind of thing, for the estate. We're in the process of trying to get funding for a community archaeological dig to explore this area, and there's several other areas on the site that we're pinpointing to do similar projects on. There's industrial, but also pre-industrial areas of interest. Various pathways as well, you can just about see. These might be fairly recent though. This site was particularly impenetrable even last summer. The work's been done by this fantastic little team we have, who've totally taken ownership of the site. See lots of piles of brash and logs from trees that we felled. Overlooking the River Stour now. And you can see a wall on the right hand side demarking certain areas of the site. A market garden south of the wall and probably orchards north of the wall. Going over an area now where there's an abundance of Japanese knotweed, one of the problems we have on the site. looking over where the market garden was historically and where we look to reinstate it. Again, looking at the area of market garden that we've cleared from the other way. Looking at the abundance of logs and brash we've cut. So this site was the estate of the ironmaster, where there were gardens, orchards, and ancillary workshops. It's largely uncontaminated, unlike the other end of the site, which was used for heavy industry. Coming up now to Riverside House, so going approximately southeast. We look to put some cabins in quite soon. We're having shipping containers converted with green roofs, nice joinery, bread and pizza oven and Aga. We're going to put a waterless toilet in, a deluxe compost toilet as well. So you can see the garden, little walled garden to the left in front of Riverside House that face the canal. And we'd like to have this as a bit of an entranceway, a bit of a grand entranceway to the restored building. So coming from the other view, just see going out of the frame now the entrances to the narrowboat basins where they brought iron, pig iron and coal into the factory and took wrought iron products out. So going above the kitchen garden in front of the house and a good view of the house, the front of the house. And I think we're coming into land. So coming along the River Stour now. We're just going over what the archaeologists think is a lowered landing platform for navigating the river. And just in the bottom right-hand corner, we can see probably where the boathouse stood, which is evident on historic maps. So you can see the lowered platform here with willow growing out of it. And then the dry dock in the bottom, you can see it right in the bottom sort of left-hand corner with the surrounding wall. And then above that, to the right of the canal, the area that we started on last year, at the beginning of 2017, with a small team, clearing back the brash, picking up the rubbish. It's part of a project that's associated with the overall project through the Canal and River Trust adoption scheme, canal adoption scheme. So going across the bridges, the entranceway to the canal basins, And then coming down in front of the foundry, the old foundry, Sydney Smith's, Foster Astruc Foundry, different incarnations, and along the river, up the river, and you can see a little cast iron bridge. This is where a narrow gauge railway would have gone from the foundry to the canal. It would have taken casted iron products built in the foundry to barges on the canal. This includes the Stourbridge Line, the first train to run on tracks in the USA, as well as other casted products. The foundry's the longest serving foundry anywhere in the world. It was almost 200 years in productive existence. We can see the new extension to the foundry used by the medical centre, GP surgery. Just past Anthony, the drone operator, and a big pile of big laurel tree that we cut down on the left-hand side. Apparently it's poisonous if you burn it. It lets off arsenic, so we'll have to just let it rot down. You can see on the bottom, well, the middle now, coal frame bases. And this is looking from the other way. You can see the coal frame bases in the bottom left-hand corner. We've got loads of hazel poles in them at the moment. There's quite a lot of hazel around that we're going to coppice and manage. Old gates, there's loads of old gates and fences scattered around this side of the site, demarking various boundaries. And now we're hovering above the pre-industrial landing platform, the boat landing platform, and coming along the Stour. The Environmental Agency are looking at a project to revitalise all the tributaries of the Stour and reintroduce salmon spawning, which is quite exciting. It needs quite a lot of work to clean up this river. But it's potentially beautiful. Well, it is beautiful. If you overlook the odd shopping trolley and here we are coming back into land. Okay, thank you very much.